In the gritty neighborhoods of South Boston, a young man named Will Hunting spends his days working as a janitor at the prestigious Massachusetts Institute of Technology (MIT) and his nights drinking with his friends, Chucky, Billy, and Morgan. Despite his rough exterior and humble lifestyle, Will possesses an extraordinary gift and unparalleled talent for mathematics. He keeps this hidden from the world, fearing what might come of it. One day, while cleaning a hallway at MIT, Will stumbles upon a complex mathematical problem left on a chalkboard by Professor Gerald Lambeau, a celebrated mathematician. Without hesitation, Will solves the problem, astonishing the faculty, though he remains anonymous. Professor Lambeau is desperate to find the genius who solved his problem. When Will anonymously solves yet another, even more difficult problem, Lambeau finally catches him in the act. However, Will's brilliance is overshadowed by his rebellious nature. His tendency to get into trouble lands him in court after a fight, where his future hangs in the balance. Lambeau intervenes, offering Will a deal. He'll avoid jail time if he agrees to study mathematics under Lambeau's guidance and attend therapy sessions to address his anger and emotional issues. Will reluctantly agrees, more to avoid jail than to improve himself. Will's sessions with therapist after therapist are disastrous, as he mocks and resists their attempts to help him. Desperate, Lambeau turns to an old friend, Dr. Sean McGuire, a community college professor with a rough demeanor and deep emotional scars of his own. Sean, like Will, grew up in South Boston and understands the challenges of the environment. When Will meets Sean, he is ready with his usual sarcasm and resistance, but Sean doesn't back down. In a heated first session, Sean gets under Will's skin by confronting him about his fear of vulnerability and intimacy. Despite the rocky start, Will slowly begins to open up, and the two form a deep, complex bond. As their sessions progress, Sean helps Will confront his past, his anger, and his fear of abandonment, stemming from years of abuse as a foster child. Meanwhile, Lambeau pushes Will to embrace his mathematical talent, presenting him with opportunities that could change his life. However, the more Will is pushed, the more he retreats, terrified of the expectations and the fear of failure. At the same time, Will begins a relationship with Skylar, a Harvard student who sees through his tough exterior. Their relationship becomes another test for Will, as his fear of getting close to someone leads him to sabotage what could be a genuine connection. The tension between Will, Lambeau, and Sean reaches a breaking point. Lambeau wants to mold Will into a mathematical prodigy, while Sean is more concerned with Will's emotional well-being. Will, caught in the middle, lashes out, questioning whether his talent is a gift or a curse. In a powerful session, Sean challenges Will to stop hiding behind his intellect and face the reality of his emotions. He tells Will that it's not his fault he was abused, and that it's okay to be vulnerable. This moment of honesty and connection marks a turning point for Will. With Sean's guidance, Will begins to realize that his life doesn't have to be defined by his past or by others' expectations. He starts to understand the importance of choosing his own path, not one that others have laid out for him. However, this realization comes with the daunting challenge of stepping out of his comfort zone. As his relationship with Skylar deepens, she asks him to move to California with her, but Will is hesitant, afraid of change and of losing his identity. In a moment of clarity, Will decides to take a chance on himself and the people he cares about. Will's final breakthrough comes when he realizes that he doesn't have to be trapped by his past or his fear of the future. In a letter to Sean, he thanks him for his help and support, explaining that he's leaving Boston to find his own way in the world. In the final scene, Will drives away from Boston, leaving behind the life he knew, the job at MIT, and the friends who kept him grounded. As he drives towards an uncertain future, it's clear that he's finally ready to embrace the possibilities ahead of him, no longer running from his past, but running towards a future of his own making. Will's journey is one of self-discovery, healing, and the courage to break free from the chains of his past. With the support of those who believed in him, he learns that he is not defined by his circumstances or by his genius alone, but by the choices he makes and the people he allows into his life. And so, Will Hunting, the boy from South Boston with a brilliant mind and a troubled soul, sets out to write the next chapter of his life, one of his own design.